The headlines of this hour on VTV News. Vietnam is among the fastest growing economies in East Asia Pacific. And later on, Vietnamese rice conquers high-end markets. In our world news, Russia affirms readiness to normalize relations with the West.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is currently 3 p.m. local time and you're tuning into 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Linh Lê with the latest updates. Now, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính met with the Lao Cai Provincial Party Standing Committee on Sunday evening to discuss the province's socio-economic development. He praised Lao Cai's 2024 achievements, which included a 7.38% growth in GRDP and full disbursement of public investment funds. The Prime Minister also commended the province's effective recovery from Typhoon Yagi. For 2025, he encouraged Lao Cai to target GRDP growth exceeding 10%, with a focus on innovation, digital transformation, and technological advancement as key growth drivers. He advocated for developing AI systems using local data to inform policies decisions. The Prime Minister also directed ministries and agencies to expedite key infrastructure projects, including Sapa Airport, the standard gauge railway linking Lao Cai, Hanoi, and Haiphong, and the 500 kilovolt Lao Cai Vĩnh Yên power line, with completion expected within 6 months. Vietnam is projected to be one of the fastest growing economies in the East Asia Pacific region in both 2024 and 2025, according to the World Bank. The global lender noted that global inflation has cooled and central banks worldwide have shifted towards more accommodating monetary policies, including interest rate cuts. These factors have provided a favorable environment for Vietnam's export growth. As of mid-December, Vietnam's import-export turnover had reached over $745 billion, up 15% year-on-year. Foreign direct investment, FDI, including registered, new and disbursed capital, has also risen. The World Bank has a positive outlook for Vietnam's growth in 2025, but also cautions about potential external risks. Vietnam's rice exports are expected to exceed 8 million tons this year, setting a new record. The average export price of rice is projected to reach an unprecedented high of over $600 per ton. This increase has helped maintain strong and stable domestic rice prices. The Philippines remains Vietnam's largest rice market, accounting for more than 45% of export, with Indonesia and Malaysia following as key buyers. While India has re-entered the global rice export market, the Vietnam Food Association (VFA) anticipates minimal impact on local prices, given that India's rice varieties differ significantly from Vietnamese varieties. Experts forecast a stable market with low risk. By the end of November, Vietnam's rice export value had reached $5.3 billion, the highest level recorded. Over the past 10 years, Vietnam's rice export turnover and output have consistently increased. Previously known for selling low-grade rice, the industry now has businesses capable of producing high-quality rice varieties that meet market demand.
After winning a contract to export 50,000 tons of fragrant rice to South Korea and preparing to launch its brand in Australia, this rice exporter's investment in quality has helped it conquer demanding markets and increase profits by 30%.
We are committed to the 1 million hectare high-quality rice project to produce low-emission rice for global demand.
Vietnam's year-round crop structure enables its rice to excel in both freshness and quality, attributes that continue to improve. This success helped the rice industry reach its target a month early. The industry is now shifting its export focus toward fragrant, premium quality rice.
Vietnam exports over 9 million tons of high-value rice this year, with 85% being new varieties and 89% being high quality. Cultivating 1 million hectares of high-quality rice would boost its market position.
Vietnam is developing a distinctive rice industry by focusing on fragrant, high-quality varieties. This strategy aims to establish Vietnamese rice as a premium brand through 2030.
We will establish a system to monitor production standards, ensuring products can be traced and quality maintained consistently.
According to the Vietnam Food Association, farmers and rice exporters are focusing on improving quality, establishing origin traceability, and meeting the rigorous standards of markets such as the EU, South Korea, and the US.
According to Permanent Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Hòa Bình, approximately 100,000 people will be affected by the apparatus streamlining initiative. While this may impact employment and income for many workers, thorough preparation and appropriate job arrangements can lead to positive outcomes. The successful consolidation of 3 railway project management boards under the Vietnam Railways Corporation demonstrates this potential.
In late 2022, Vietnam Railways merged 3 project management boards into the Railway Project Management Board Region 1. Their top priority was safeguarding employee rights and benefits. The company implemented supportive policies for staff and minimized relocations between localities to help workers meet their new position requirements.
For reassigned workers lacking required certificates or qualifications, the board implemented a policy to support them in pursuing a second degree. This policy is in effect from 2022 to 2025.
Despite reducing the workforce to just 35 people, less than half the pre-merger number, operations have continued smoothly through effective job arrangements. This year alone, the unit has implemented over 150 projects, works, and tasks funded by Vietnam Railways.
Job security and income are the foundations of workplace satisfaction. Since the merger, our project count has increased by nearly 70. Worker income has also grown from an average of $413 before the merger to a projected $1,062 this year, representing a 2.5-fold increase.
The merger has streamlined operations through centralization. Having all departments in one location reduces costs while improving the quality and progress of project planning. A prime example is the nearly completed project to upgrade signaling systems at manned-level crossings. These improvements enhance safety at crossings and help trains stay on schedule, leading to more efficient railway operations.
Construction has officially begun on the Cần Thơ-Cà Mau Expressway, with contractors laying the first asphalt layers in Vị Thủy District, Hậu Giang Province. The project operates under a 3-shift 4-cruise schedule and will continue through holidays to meet its deadline. The Trường Sơn Construction Corporation under the Ministry of Defense aims to complete the expressway by the end of next year, following Prime Minister directives. Currently, 250 meters of asphalt have been laid, pending further quality checks. The completed Cần Thơ-Cà Mau Expressway will span 110 kilometers with a total investment of $1.08 billion. The project, which began in January 2023 under the management of Mỹ Thuận Project Management Board, is scheduled for completion by the end of 2025. Under the revised law on tax administration starting April 1st, 2025, e-commerce platforms will handle tax declarations and payments on behalf of their sellers. This changes the current system where sellers must manage their own tax declarations, payments, and accountability.
Phuong, who sells mother and baby products on e-commerce platforms, shared that despite simplified tax procedures, the process remains time-consuming. She sometimes misses payments due to her busy schedule, resulting in late payment fines. She welcomes the new policy that will have e-commerce platforms handle tax payments for sellers, as it will save her considerable time and effort.
Since the platforms already have an advanced technological foundation, we feel confident that there will be no errors or shortcomings, allowing us to fully fulfill our tax obligations to the government.
This platform hosts more than 400,000 manufacturing businesses and 2.8 million sellers. It is actively collaborating with tax authorities, gathering seller proposals, and conducting technological research to implement solutions in the near future.
From a research and implementation perspective, we have proposed to the tax authorities that if we want to carry out this process quickly, accurately, and simply, there must be very specific and detailed guidelines. I have suggested that if we collect tax on each transaction immediately, the process can be organized very simply.
The Hanoi Tax Authority has identified nearly 627,000 sellers across e-commerce platforms and social media, with transactions totaling nearly 9.32 billion USD. The authority is now helping sellers register and pay taxes through its new e-portal for e-commerce household businesses. These initiatives aim to streamline the tax collection process from e-commerce businesses.
We will gather and analyze feedback from platforms about implementing the new law. By April 2025, when the law takes effect, we will ensure all platforms are in full compliance with legal requirements.
Since technology is crucial for implementing the new regulations, the Hanoi Tax Authority is collaborating with e-commerce platforms and local authorities to identify potential challenges.
Before we move on, let's have a look at the exchange rate between the Vietnam dong and some world currencies in today's market. Coming up next on VTV News. Ho Chi Minh City urges women to have 2 children by the age of 35. And later on, Lai Châu Province opens 2024 Tourism Culture Week. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Now, over the past 80 years, amid rapidly changing regional and global contexts, the Vietnam People's Army has built strong defensive capabilities to protect the country proactively and comprehensively. The Army affirms its 4 No's defense policy: do not participate in military alliances, do not ally with one country to fight another, do not allow foreign countries to set up military bases or use Vietnamese territory to fight against other countries, do not use force or threaten to use force in international relations. These policies and guidelines have garnered strong support and appreciation from the international community.
The Vietnam People's Army has been successfully serving as a peace messenger in African regions, still facing conflicts and challenges.
We will be working as a follow-up so that we can really operationalize these recommendations and make sure that we come forward with good ideas in terms of how peace operations should evolve.
The Vietnam People's Army's key goal in the current context is to proactively expand foreign relations and international defense cooperation, while actively working to solve global security challenges and prevent conflicts and wars. This represents a concrete implementation of Vietnam's steadfast 4 No's defense policy.
The region on how to engage successfully with the great powers and to develop economically, but to still safeguard its sovereignty. So I think Vietnam's 4 No's policy really achieves great ends for their national security and their strategy.
Amid ongoing global changes, Vietnam remains a symbol of stability and development, using its military capabilities to promote peace and stability, both regionally and globally.
In peacetime, the Vietnamese Army continues to pursue its mission of building comprehensive, independent, and self-reliant national defense while effectively integrating defense capabilities with socioeconomic development to serve the people.
This aligns with reality. National defense is not just the Army's responsibility but every citizen's duty. It affirms the unbreakable bond between the military and the people under all circumstances.
Vietnam's national defense policy is peaceful and focused on self-defense. Its modern, dual-purpose approach to strengthening national defense aims to achieve self-reliance while combining economic and social development. Through this strategy, Vietnam actively contributes to maintaining peace and security in both regional and global contexts.
This year, Vietnam has completed and put into use an additional 21,000 social housing units. The Ministry of Construction has set an ambitious target to complete over 100,000 more by 2025. Several social housing projects have already broken ground as this year draws to a close, indicating promising prospects for housing supply in the coming year.
Despite not having permanent residence in Bac Ninh province, Nung, a worker from Nam Dinh province, was able to own a social housing unit thanks to the new regulations of the 2023 housing law. Moving into her new home just before the Lunar New Year has transformed life for her and her family.
In the past, I thought I would never be able to buy a house, but now, life is no longer like living in a rental. It's very stable. I no longer have to move frequently, and this is now my own home.
Along with the increased supply of social housing, the State Bank of Vietnam has recently announced a slight reduction in the interest rate for social housing loans to 4.7% per year in 2025. This move aims to promote the social housing development program.
After 23 years of working, I finally have a dream home like this, and it's now my permanent house. With a bank loan for the house, I pay around $200 each month for both principal and interest.
A key focus for the upcoming period is attracting investors to social housing through supportive mechanisms aiming to rapidly expand the number of new projects from diverse funding sources.
The housing law clearly defines the development of social housing, such as the possibility of increasing social housing construction through foreign investment sources and the participation of investors in building social housing, and who will be granted additional land for commercial housing construction. These are groundbreaking measures.
We are implementing the Prime Minister Directive to research and build a credit package of $1.18 billion to support home buyers with preferential interest rates. We will coordinate with relevant ministries and agencies to report to the Prime Minister for approval.
Under the government's strong leadership and with active participation from ministries and localities, along with the 2023 housing law, the project to build at least 1 million social housing units is poised to gain momentum in the coming year.
To combat its low birth rate, Ho Chi Minh City has introduced a policy that encourages women to have 2 children by age 35, offering $120 in support. The city is also considering additional measures to increase birth rates.
Before the Ho Chi Minh City People's Council approved its measure encouraging women to have 2 children by age 35, women discussed and expressed their support for the policy.
I have 2 children and believe this policy encourages women to have children between the ages of 25 and 30, ensuring good health for both mother and child. The government's support is encouraging.
I'm not married and believe this policy encourages women to have children while offering financial support.
In 2023, Ho Chi Minh City recorded a birth rate of 1.32 children per woman, while its elderly population reached 1.1 million, representing 11% of the total population.
Ho Chi Minh City's main goal in the coming years is to address the low birth rate and adapt to the aging population while considering public feedback on solutions.
The The city is launching awareness campaigns about the impact of low birth rates and will offer rewards to communes where over 60% of couples have 2 children for 3 to 5 consecutive years. These initiatives demonstrate the city's dedication to helping couples address the declining birth rate.
In other news, frost appeared on the summit of Fansipan, Vietnam's highest peak, early Monday mornings as temperatures dropped to around -1 degree Celsius. A thin layer of frost formed on the flagpole platform, creating a picturesque winter scene ahead of Christmas. This marks the second frost occurrence in Fansipan this year. Weather experts predict the phenomenon may intensify through the night. While snowfall is unlikely due to this year's drier winter, frost and icy conditions are expected to occur more frequently, especially in high-altitude areas like Phie in Cao Bằng, Mẫu Sơn in Lạng Sơn, and Fansipan in Lào Cai. The frost forms when temperatures near 0 degrees Celsius or lower combine with high humidity, causing water vapor to condense and coat the ground and vegetation in a soft, salt-like layer. Visitors hoping to witness this natural spectacle should come prepared with warm clothing or safety. Last weekend, the 2024 Tourism Cultural Week officially opened at the People's Square in Lai Châu province. This significant cultural event serves as a platform for Lai Châu to showcase its ethnic group's rich heritage and highlight the region's strengths. Visitors can experience a vibrant display of Lai Chou's culture, people, and tourism offerings through captivating performances, traditional folk arts by ethnic groups, and exhibitions featuring tourism activities, OCOP products, as well as local agricultural goods. The week-long celebration aims to promote diversity and strengthen regional and national tourism ties. Coming up next in our world news. Russia affirms readiness to normalize relations with the West. And later on, South Korean Iron-manned exoskeleton helps with paraplegics walk. Now moving on to our world news, Russian President Vladimir Putin affirmed that Moscow is ready to normalize relations with the U.S. and other Western countries if it does not harm national interests. According to TASS news agencies, in an interview with reporters on Sunday about the possibility of Russia and the U.S. normalizing relations, President Putin said Moscow has never given up on this desire. Putin said that if Russia sees a change in the situation that creates opportunities and prospects for building relations with other countries, it is always ready. However, he stressed that this must not harm the interests of the Russian Federation. Regarding the prospect of Russia normalizing relations with Western countries in general, the Russian leader affirmed, if we establish relations with any country, we will only establish them on the basis of the interests of the Russian state. President-elect Donald Trump indicated on Sunday that he favored allowing TikTok to remain in the U.S. for at least a while, noting he had received billions of views on the platform during his campaign. Speaking in Phoenix, Arizona, Trump opposed a TikTok ban in the near term. Earlier, he met with TikTok CEO Zhao Shuqi. In April, the U.S. Senate passed a bill requiring ByteDance, TikTok's Chinese parent company, to divest, citing national security concerns. ByteDance is attempting to overturn the law, and the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to review the case. If the court rules against ByteDance and no divestment occurs, TikTok could be banned in the U.S. on January the 19th, the day before Trump takes office. Oil prices in Asia fell during morning trading amid concerns over demand growth in 2025, particularly in China, the world's largest crude oil importer. At this week's trading session opening, Brent crude dropped to $72.57 US per barrel, while U.S. light sweet crude WTI fell to $69.12 US per barrel. In its recent annual energy outlook report, Chinese state-owned oil refiner Sinopec predicted that China's oil consumption will peak in 2027 as demand for gasoline and diesel weakens. The strengthening U.S. dollar, which has reached a 2-year high, has further pressured oil prices. J.P. Morgan forecast continued dollar appreciation and projects the oil market will shift from equilibrium in 2024 to a surplus of 1.2 million barrels per day in 2025. South Korean researchers have developed a lightweight wearable robot that autonomously approaches paraplegic users and attaches itself to them, enabling them to walk, navigate obstacles, and climb stairs. The exoskeleton laboratory team at the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, or KAAST, aims to create a robot that seamlessly integrates into the daily lives of individuals with disabilities.
Kim Sung-won, a paraplegic researcher on the KAIST team, demonstrated the prototype as it helped him walk at 3.2 km per hour, climb stairs, and make sideways movements to slide onto a bench.
It can approach me wherever I am, even when I'm sitting in a wheelchair, and be donned to help me stand up, which is one of its most distinct features.
The powered exoskeleton, named Walk-On Suit F1, features an aluminum and titanium composition to weigh in at 50 kilograms and is powered by 12 electronic motors that simulate the movements of human joints while walking.
To ensure the user doesn't fall while walking with an exoskeleton, having a sense of balance is crucial. Our robot achieves this by using force sensors in the feet and tilt sensors in the upper body. These sensors process data approximately 1,000 times per second, allowing the robot to precisely maintain balance.
Kim Sung-won earned a gold medal in the exoskeleton category at Cybathlon 2024 while wearing the Walk-On Suit F1. The competition featured developers with various physical disabilities demonstrating assistive robots across 8 categories.
Up next, let's have a look at the weather forecast. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website or YouTube channel or download a mobile app VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.